Hello, everyone, and welcome to our Town Hall webinar number 3 for LEAP 2.0. For those of you joining us for the first time, we proudly present LEAP 2.0, the improved technology platform skillfully crafted from your feedback and requests that will be going live on April 21st. Development of our updated user-friendly interface and amazing new features were fueled by our commitment to the success and satisfaction of you, our customers. You spoke and we listened. Today, we will be walking through the core updates you will see in LEAP 2.0 that may look different or entirely new from your current LEAP app. We will review how to download the Test Flight app today for early access to LEAP 2.0. We will then jump into a live demo and take your questions, which we welcome you to submit in the questions box of your Zoom menu at any time during the presentation. And without further ado, I would like to introduce the founder of LEAP, Steve Stencil. Steve, the floor is all yours.
All right, let's jump into this thing. So this is a little, for those of you who haven't joined before, I know we've done a couple of these webinars, give you 2.0 feedback we've had initially has just been amazing. We're really excited about this application. Longtime customers, you probably know, the LEAP has been pretty much the same application for the last 5 years. We've decided last year that 2021 was going to be the year that we redo it. We made the analogy that LEAP was kind of like a real fast race car that we've just been burning laps, for the last 5 years, coming in first place every time. And now it's time to put the thing in the garage and really tune this thing up. And that's what we have done starting around the end of last year. We've taken all the feedback that we've gathered from you guys, our customers, from our partners, internally here at LEAP, our support team, our sales team. When we use this to completely redesign the application that you already know and love. Like I said, the initial feedback that we received from the few that we've shown it to initially, and then we did a webinar about a week ago where we launched it on Test Flight. We've had hundreds of people download it and use it. We've been getting great feedback from that. We've been pushing updates out like every other day with the feedback that we have giving on like last minute changes or tweaks that users might have found. So a couple things. The redesign was done to make the application even more user-friendly than it already was. The idea was so somebody can just pick it up and with very little instruction be able to use the application. All of the current features that you're used to still exist in the application, so we're not really removing anything out of the application. There are a couple additions which I'll go over once we jump into a demo in this webinar. It's a more friendly, user-friendly interface with easier navigation. So the menu kind of stays the same. There's a little bit of a difference. Again, I'll go over in the demo, but the user interface is much easier on the eyes. And there's a couple additional customization functionality, specifically with the custom products in the packages, which again, I'll demo after these couple slides. So the first thing that we wanted to talk about was the new home screen. Before the home screen, we really wasn't even a home screen. It was just the estimates page was the home screen. But now we built one where there's a customers tab, and it will show you today's appointments. And what it would do is connect to your CRM if you use one, or to connect to your calendar if you so wish it to. And it will show you all of your appointments listed on the left-hand side. On the right-hand side is any recent estimates that you have worked on. And you can tap on either one of those sides and either continue an estimate if you do it from the recent estimate side, or create a new estimate if you're doing it from the appointment side. The other major change that we have done is custom products. One of the #1 feedbacks that we have received over the last 5 years that LEAP has been a business was the custom product functionality. So we took this in and built it completely over from scratch. We had a UI UX team. We went back and forth on best ways to do it. I mean, we literally probably went through 20 different, versions of how custom product should work. So I'm really excited to demo that to you on this webinar. Also the functionality to save custom products. One of the pain points or issues feedback that we have received over the years is, it's setting up the price guide initially. There's so many widgets that you might have that you sell. And, most companies have like the core set of products. Maybe there's 20, 50, 100 core things that they sell day in and day out. And then there's another 1,000 plus, and in some companies we have 50,000 plus items that might be one-offs that they don't sell every single day, but they still want that in the price guide. So we have built a way via our custom products that you can go in and on the fly basically build out a price guide. So I can go in and say, oh, I don't have this line item in my price guide, and you can type it in, hit add to catalog, and it will save it to your custom product section, so that later on, if you come back, that line item will be there so that you don't have to retype all the information over again. So again, I'll demo that to you at the end of these slides. The other thing is create templates. So another one was, hey, when I sell this roof, I always sell these 10 things. So, can I have a way that I can just, go to my templates, and these 10 things would always be included in the estimate? We have a way to do that now. Of course, in bathrooms, hey, I always sell these 15 things when I sell this type of bathroom. So we have a way that you can group those. Again, this is only with the custom product section. We call it now kind of like the items catalog section, but you can group the items that you create in the custom product section into templates. And then you'll create new sections, which I'll demo this in the, again, after these slides, and I've said that 10 times, but you'll be able to add, so before the custom product section, you would, it would always stay there. And it was one section where you dumped all of the miscellaneous things into, and it would add them all up, and there was no way to deactivate them, or the only way to do it was to delete it. So if you wanted to come back to it, you had to re-add it. So it's just very inconvenient. So now what you can do is you can add multiple sections, and you can rename them. So it's not just custom product. You can name them roofing, siding, miscellaneous, whatever you want. You name your sections. You can add as many of the sections as you want to it. And then what you will do is, let me go back to this one. After you add your section, then you add your items to the section, and it will total it up. The other cool thing that we have done is custom packages. This is one of the ones, again, major feedback we received on this. And packages is a huge time saver with Leap. So you can just enter your measurements once and then swipe between all of the different options. But there comes times where you're in the house and you want to build a custom package where you deactivate certain line items. I remember when I used to do in-home sales, there were times where the customer wanted a price on all the windows upstairs, but hold off on the ones downstairs, and vice versa. All the windows on the front of the house, but not on the back of the house. So with custom packages, you can do that now. You can change the product selections, we call them options, as well as toggle in the options on and off, so that you can create multiple packages along with your predefined packages that you're used to, and they will save to the estimate. So the next time you come to that estimate, all those packages will still be there, and they're only relevant to that estimate. So if you were to create a new estimate, you'll start over with new custom packages. A couple things that, so the initial feedback, we did the test flight build out, and there was a couple feedback that we have received, and this is kind of a good time for me to jump into it. So I'm going to just go through this slide, and then I'm going to just jump into an estimate. One of them is the clear button, how to clear the customer versus clear the estimate. So this has come back multiple times in our test flight feedback, where before, when you would clear out the estimate and the customer are pretty much the same thing. So if you were to hit the clear button on the estimates tab, it would clear out the customer and the estimate, and that's how you would start new. Well, now that same clear button is there, but you'll notice in the new version, we have divorced the estimates and the customers. So when you clear out the estimate, it literally just clears out the measurements for that estimate. If you wanted to clear out the customer, you'll tap the customer tab, and then that's how you clear out the customer, which in turn clears out the estimate, which I'll show you that here in a second. So without further ado, I'm going to jump into this thing. Let me end this show. And I'm going to stop this screen share and start from my iPad. And Liz, if you're there, if you can just confirm my iPad shows up. Zoom says it is.
We are rocking and rolling. Looks good.
Perfect. Okay, so I'm live in my iPad right now. And the first thing that I want to show you is today's appointments. This works kind of like the calendar, which the calendar is still in the application. We left it in here just for kind of like people who might want to search a different day, etc. But it is kind of obsolete at this point because we hope that you can really do everything that you need from this today's appointments and recent estimate screen. So the little info buttons work just like they used to. You click on those and all the details will show up straight out of the CRM. If you wanted to get driving directions, you can click on the little car, and you can search, it will pull you Google Maps or Waze, whatever you want to use. And then on the right-hand side, you have the same info buttons. These are your most recent estimates that you've created. And if you click on these little info buttons here, it will show you your lead results. So as long as you resulted the lead, You can just at a glance say, yes, I did result this one. And you see, how much I resulted it for and payment amount, total sale amount. These are all the results fields that you have customized from the back end. Now, if you maybe your sales rep forgot to result one, and when I click on one that wasn't resulted, you'll see that there's no notes. So then that would instruct your sales reps to tap on that estimate. I can replace the existing one, and then I can just go into the bottom right-hand corner and result that appointment. So hopefully your reps, they forget the result their lead. They can literally just fire this thing up, look in their recent estimates, and they'll know at a glance if they resulted the appointment or not. So another thing, feedback that we had on the initial test flight, I didn't realize how many people are using the copy paste functionality on estimates. And that was where you would come here to estimates. There's a little tool button in the top right-hand corner, and it would allow you to clone the estimate from a previous one to a new one. So the let's see here. We have redesigned this. So before, the way that will work is you would go in, pull in the old estimate, hit copy, tools, then copy. Then you would clear that out, bring in the new estimate, and then go on the tools and paste the values into the new estimate. Well, now let's say that I wanted to go with David Christensen. I'm going to replace right here, right? So it's a brand new estimate. So if I come back here to my customers tab and I have Steve Irwin here at the top, I can tap on this and it's going to ask me, do I want to replace my existing customer, David Christensen, or do I want to clone the Steve Irwin estimate into the Christensen estimate? So if I hit clone, then David Christensen, which Steve Irwin didn't have any data in there. So let's see, let's try to Easter Bunny. Oops, keep current selection. I'm going to go to clone. And there should be, oops, this is one I'm going to have to put in test flight. Easter Bunny. Nope, I don't have it. All right, that's a bad demo. So I will fix that. This is why we're doing a test flight, but that's the way it's going to work. You're going to click into this, clone the estimates into the customer, and then when you come back into the estimates page, your customer, all the values will be updated in here with the details from one estimate to another. So another thing I wanted to show you, let's go in here. I'm just going to clear this out. So remember on that last slide that I showed you, it was, clearing the estimate versus clearing the customer. So let me go in here and bring in the Easter Bunny. And you see this has a bunch of values in here. In the bottom left-hand corner, it says clear estimate. If I tap on that, it clears all the measurements out of that estimate. So if you do this, those measurements are gone, you're not getting them back. If I come back here to customers, let's load, oops, let's not the Easter Bunny, let's do Steve Irwin in place. Okay, so in Steve Irwin, if I wanted to clear Steve Irwin out, on the left-hand side of the menu, there's this little kebab looking, these three dots. If I tap on that, that will ask me if I wanted to edit the customer or clear the customer. So if I hit edit, that'll bring up so I can edit the phone number, the email, etc. But if I wanted to clear it out and just start from scratch, then that will clear the estimate in the customer together, but it does not clear the measure sheet items off of it. So let me, for instance, let me come back here and just show you again. If I do this clear estimate, this is going to clear the measurements out of this estimate, the whole entire, every category is going to clear out. If I clear it this way, it's going to clear just the customer without clearing the measurements. So let's jump in this again. Let's start from scratch. We're going to do John Smith. I'm going to replace. And now we're going to go in and start adding some items. So let's go in here to my roofing category. This should all look fairly similar, just a different user interface. I'm going to use an Eagle View integration here. Come on. Internet's being slow. Here it goes. Just tap this. All my measurements will populate. Nothing new here. I click done. And now I have my different packages. So all of the packages that you already have will carry over. You don't have to update anything. You just download the new version and all of these will work. If you remember before, you had I believe it was called a custom package. Now we're just calling it a default package, which will show up. But if you want to edit any of these, you just tap on it and it will bring you to a new screen, which can show you the totals of each line item. This is a newer screen. It's an updated screen with more information and a much better user interface. Before, you would just swipe left and right between the options. And this one, you can see all three options and you just tap which row that you want. And you can see the price here is updating as I go along. And down at the very bottom, it is updating to show me all of my different package pricing. So if I had a customer that I'm trying to get within a specific price range, I can go through here and say, okay, well, if we did this and that, and hold off on this and hold off on that, and it would change the price down at the bottom. I say, okay, that's a good package, and I could hit done, and I can say, I don't know, this is going to be custom package one. I'm going to hit save. Right, and you see custom package one just gets here added at the end. And right now it's the Leap logo, but this would actually show up as your company logo if you do any of these custom packages. So then you can go in and let's say that I just wanted to do one more just to show you, or actually let me add a different product and we'll do it from there. So I'll go here, we'll go into Windows. And in Windows now, highlights in red, that means I have some required fields, but if I tap on the row, and if you remember before, for those who are Leap users, there was a little green button here. And if you wanted upcharges, you would click the green button. And if you wanted to edit the additional details that you fill in, you would tap on the row. Well, now you can tap anywhere on the row, and the details, the additional details, and the upcharges are all in the same screen. So you can just toggle back and forth between them. So I'm going to go here and just fill in a quantity of 5. Put my room location as dining room. Put a size. We updated this little size picker here. Another feedback we got when we put this out in test flight was the size picker was not working well on the iPhone. So this will solve that. Some additional details. We'll do replace routed window sill. And then I'm going to go to my upcharges. We'll do some colonial grids. Fill in the additional details here. We'll say 6/6, and we'll do a grid color of white. I'm just going to hit back. And let's turn on beige. I'm going to hit done. There's that. I'm going to split these. There you go. And let's change these room locations because this will come into play in a second. I'm going to change this one to bathroom. I'm going to change this one to, we'll do foyer. This one will change to sunroom, and we'll just leave the other one alone. So then I'm going to click done. Now it brings me to this screen. Same normal packages, 6225. If I swipe my finger across, 4963, 1 to 2000, and then the 1000 series, 3625. Notice the red circle exclamation point that showed up. If I tap on that, then it lets me know that these line items are not available in beige, right? So my dining room, my bathroom, my foyer, sunroom, etc. I can't get beige on those windows. So it noticed that I selected them, but if I swipe off of it, 2000 series, I can get beige, so there's no warning. In the 1000 series, it calculates me a price, but is letting me know beige is not available on those windows. So now custom packages can really come into handy on when you're selling things like windows. So let me just go in here for an example, click 1000 series. And let's say that the homeowner is interested in the sunroom. They just want, hold on, let's do it this way. Let's switch them all to the top of the line and edit the package. And in the sunroom, they just want the lower end windows. They don't want the top of the line. So then I can click done and I can say sunroom 1000 series. Save. Okay, so now I have a package for that. Notice my exclamation point showed up and it's letting me know just the window in the sunroom has beige. Although it's giving me a price, I'm not going to be able to get beige on that window. So let's go through and let's say that the homeowner says, okay, if we don't do the sunroom altogether, how much would that be? I could tap on the package again and I could come down to the sunroom window and just deactivate that entirely. Then I could hit done and I could say without sunroom. I can hit save. And now I have an extra package in there. So now I can just toggle back and forth with the homeowner. Hey, we did it this way, this way, this way. And you see my pricing is just updating down at the bottom. And if you wanted to change your roof, you can do your roof packages. And then when I save this estimate, this is going to persist anytime I download it. So if I pull it open on my iPhone or a sales manager downloads it on their device, it's going to come open with the same exact packages specifically to this estimate. One of the questions that we had is, do these packages save with your existing default packages that you're used to? The answer is no. These packages are kind of, concrete. They stay and come to every single estimate that you create, but the custom packages that you create are only specific to this customer and this estimate. So that's that. Let's leave this like this. And let's come down here to our custom products section, or at least where it used to be. So if you notice now, right where insurance information ends, there used to be another row there, another category called custom product. Well, now you just add your line items in the top right-hand corner. I'm going to add a new section, and we're just going to call this miscellaneous. I'm not even going to try to spell that, labor. And then I'm going to hit next, and then it's going to ask me to add some line items. So I could say, let's see, remove awning is the name, and I'm going to say remove awning on front porch and dispose of. Okay, quantity is just one, and I'm going to put a price of $500. Now, what's cool is if I do this often, I say, hey, this is a line item that's not in my price book, but I don't want to have to type this information in all over again. I could just hit add to catalog, and you could type in a category. I've already have some categories selected, so actually I'm going to just make one here. I'm going to put miscellaneous, and I'm going to hit save and add another. And then I'm going to go in item name. We're going to put, let's do another one. Protect garden outside on front of house. And this is going to be tarp before installation and clean up all debris and haul away. Make sure plants and bushes are not disturbed. Good enough. We'll do a quantity of one and a price of, I don't know, $750. I'm not going to add that one to the catalog, and I'm just going to hit save, and that will dismiss it. Down here, I have a brand new row called miscellaneous labor, and I have my line items added to it. You see here it totals up a number at the bottom. Just for some advanced training on this, you could click add items, and you can add another one. And in this case, let's go ahead and add one from the catalog that I've already created. So if I go to my catalog, I could come here and let's say that I want to do some waterproofing, and I could, you see my line item will show here. All I have to do is add a quantity, and let's just say we have 10 of those. I'm gonna hit save, and it adds my waterproofing down there at the bottom. Let's say that I messed up on my awning and I had 3 of them, so I could tap on the row of the awning, and I can just change my quantity to 3, hit save, and you see everything updates. What's also cool is I can deactivate my line items now. This is brand new functionality. So let's say the customer didn't want to do basement waterproofing right away. I could just tap that little checkbox, and it will take it out of the total cost, but it will still save it to the estimate so that I can come to it at a later date. This also works kind of like the custom packages, so that I can mix and match things, toggle things on and off, so that I can get the customer right within the price range that they want to be. If I want to deactivate the entire row or category, I can do that as well. My numbers down at the bottom still work just like normal. So I'm going to go ahead and save this. And another thing, feedback that we had received on the initial beta test was, how do you delete one of these things? Like, you can swipe left and delete all these rows, but then the entire category still stays. All you have to do is just swipe left on the category, and you get a couple options as far as what you can do. So I can either delete the whole row, I can rename it. So I can say miscellaneous labor 1, I don't know. Or I can duplicate it. So I can hit duplicate, and I can rename this, and I can say labor 1, 2, 3, hit save, and drops all those line items down at the bottom. Maybe I don't want the sump pump. I will delete that out of that row. And now you can just, kind of create groups where I can say, okay, well, if you did it this way, it's that much. If you did it this way, it's that much. Okay, let's go through a couple more sections. Again, let me just save this just to make sure doesn't go anywhere. Let's see here. Available contacts, this is all the same. Resources, there's an updated user interface. Finance calculator, this is really cool section. When the UI UX team came to us with this, I was just doing backflips. Like, man, this is exactly the way that it needs to be. What's really cool about this is I type in an amount that I want to get financed, and it will show me all the plans. Again, this has not changed, but I don't have to keep backing in and out of the different categories. All I have to do is just swipe between the different tables, and I can see all of my options at a quick glance. You can just select one of these, and or actually, if you do it from the estimates page, so if I do it down here, 1, 2,000, and let's just select one of these, and then we'll add the total cost to your estimate, and then you see the details down at the bottom, with the plan number, the total monthly payment, etc. So let's go here. Price guide, nothing really changed here except the user interface, just much cleaner. Let's go into, oh yeah, another thing. I forgot to mention this on the customer screen. The searching the customers. We have a lot of initial feedback about searching and, seeing the, previous sales reps and sales managers pulling in sales reps, etc. So if you come up here and just tap the search customers button, then you can put like John, hit search. It's going to bring up a new window. And there it is. So you can see here, we now have a created by. Initially, that was missing on the first version of test flight that we pushed out. Now your created by is going to be there, and it shows you all of the details. Of course, your navigation info buttons are there, just like it is on the main customer page. And you can tap these and clone them into your existing one or replace it just like you did it from the main page. So your search customer functionality now lives here on the customers page. It is no longer part of the calendar. So the last thing I wanted to go through is let's just do a quick contract. And here, if I go to contracts, and actually, you know what? Let's attempt to do this on my phone because this is brand new functionality. So we're going to jump in. I'm going to call an audible here, Liz, and do it from my phone because this was another major thing that we have received feedback on people super excited to use this. Hold on, I'm going to share my iPhone. Oops, that was my iPad. Let me unplug my iPad. Okay, so Liz, am I good on my iPhone?
Yep, we can see it great. Thanks.
Perfect. Okay, so now I'm on my iPhone. I'm going to clear this customer out. And the first thing that you'll notice, if I here in the main menu, is I now have my proposals and my contracts in my phone. So everything that you can do on the iPad, you can now do on the iPhone. Previously, anything that was associated with documents, you couldn't do. So let's go in and bring, let's say that I did that entire estimate and the customer called me back and said, okay, Steve, let's pull the trigger on it. But I'm out with my friends or whatever. I just don't have my iPad handy, but I want to get the customer contract as soon as possible. I could fire my phone open, go to customers. I could scroll down here to recent estimates. I'm going to click on, I believe it was John Smith. It's going to load in my estimate exactly where I left off, right? All of my line items down here at the bottom are there, my custom product items. Exactly what I saved before I left my iPad is going to be here. So let's go ahead and create a contract. I'm going to just click back, go to the main menu, go into my contracts, and it brings me to my contracts page. I'm going to click into, let's say that they're buying a roof, or they're also buying windows, and I'm going to do some payment information. I'm going to hit next. And then this allows me to reorder my documents. So let me go back for a second because one of the other feedbacks we had was if you remember before, you would select your templates and they will come up with the order number that you selected them in. So let's say for an example, I did all of this, I hit next, I'm in this screen, I fill out all of my documents, right? And I have all the details filled in. And then I'm like, oh man, I forgot a page. I was supposed to add siding, but I want my siding to be in the middle of page 2 and 3. Well, now I could come back and add siding, hit next, and then just move it up in between pages 2 and 3, hit save and continue, and not lose any of the data that I had already filled out. So I'm going to deselect siding just for time's sake. We only want 3 templates in here. I'm going to hit save. Then I'm going to go through and just start filling in some information. None of this except the user interface changed, so it should be a lot cleaner, a lot easier to read. All your documents will still work exactly like you're used to. I can go through here. Let's do a little sketch. Whatever. Hit done. And hit number 2. This is my second template. For 5. Scroll down. That all looks good. Maybe I want to add a photo. You can click the little add photo button here. Keep current selection. Camera roll. I'm going to do this ugly, ugly window right there. Hit number 3. No, we don't want an HOA. Total paid in cash. We'll do 12K with a 5,000 deposit. Form of payment. We'll do cash. I'll hit next. Oops. Need a finance option. Hit next. And then, this shows me the document. Now, this isn't the best for, in person. If I'm in person with the customer, obviously it'd be best to do it with the iPad so everybody can read everything, but it will still work in an iPhone. Now, if I wanted to send this off, we have the DocuSign integration. So I could just tap this. If I wanted to, I could sign it with my finger. You could also rotate the device. See if Zoom will let me do that. Yep, it did. So you just rotate the device and they can do it, sign it with their finger like that. Or I can just click the DocuSign, select their email address, hit the send, and send that document off. I don't need to worry about going to my house, get my iPad, just super convenient. It'll all work exactly the same. When I get back to the house, I can fire up my iPad and everything will be there. I can also, of course, come here, go to customers, result the appointment. Oops, I'm sorry, go to estimates, result the appointment, and everything will show up just like normal. So I think I covered all of the core functionalities. I know there's a chat bot. I hope we have some Q&A here at the end. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. I had a couple more slides to show you guys. And let me go here back to presenter view. And Liz, I'm going to need you one more time.
Mhm.
Just
All
shoot
right.
this. Good? Okay.
Good.
So just some more details about the rollout. You still have 5 days. Is that right? Man, it's getting close. The 21st is the launch date, pending something catastrophic that happens, which it does not look like it's going to. We have people actively using it in the field. Everything seems like it's going to be fine. 21st is the go to launch date. Transition should be fine. We had a ton of feedback, more than we were hoping. Thank you everyone who has been using TestFlight. Please continue to keep using TestFlight, and any comments or feedback, definitely let us know. TestFlight makes it super easy with just taking a screenshot and allowing you to upload, and we get all of that. I believe we have over 100 screenshots from all the different users that have been sending us. So it's been super helpful. Tell your sales team, I encourage you to get this in their hands as soon as possible to make sure that, if anybody who has auto updates turned on, they are going to get the update on the 21st. Let your team know that it's coming, and make sure that they open it up and just get used mainly to how you add a customer, remove a customer. It is designed so that just a normal person can pick it up and start using it. But if somebody has old habits of using the old version, and they're in there to click in the clear button, that's again, we had feedback on clicking the clear button and they accidentally cleared the line items out of their estimate thinking that they were going to clear the customer. So make sure they pick it up and they understand the new flow. It'll take them 1 or 2 estimates to get used to it, but get it in their hands as soon as possible. How do you do TestFlight? So we created a quick link to go.leaptodigital.com/TestFlight, and you just go to that, and it will bring you to a page that looks, excuse me, let me get a drink. Sorry, so it'll take you to a page. It looks like this. There'll be 2 steps to it. The first step is to download the TestFlight application. And it is kind of confusing at first, because when you download the TestFlight application, you open up TestFlight and there's nothing in there. There's one button that says redeem, and we every day we get requests on what is the code. I need a redeem code. I need a redeem code. So this is very important. Once you download the TestFlight application, you have to come back to the website, which again looks just like this screenshot on the slide, and then click the link on step 2. And then once you click the link on step 2, if you see it's the Leap logo, it's in black and white, it will install a brand new icon on your device, your iPad or your iPhone. But that's how you get the app installed into TestFlight, which in turn will just download it onto your actual device. So step 1, download TestFlight. Step 2, leave TestFlight, go back to the website and click step 2. TestFlight instruction, log in with your existing username and password. So the server, nothing changed on the back end. So the apps use the exact same server, uses the exact same data. So anything you create in the TestFlight version, the 2.0 version, it is going to work or show up in the back end, and technically it would show up if you went back to the old version. So if you ran into some breaking change, which we haven't found any yet, but if, hypothetically, your reps are out in the field, they're using the beta version, testing it out, and they ran into some kind of breaking change, they could just save their estimate, open up the 1.9 version, because both icons will be installed on their device, and then just pick up where they left off with the old version. Definitely give us feedback on what happened, and then we'll get it fixed out as soon as possible. So again, anything you're creating in the new version is going to save to your, what you're used to. You can, I already said this, you can switch between the 1.0 and the, I think it's 1.9 is what the version in the App Store is right now. So while we're doing this TestFlight version, you can switch between the 2. We have had other feedback where, people are not ready to switch to the new version. Again, we're not going to be supporting the old version any further. We're not doing any more updates to the 1.9. Everything is going to be 2.0 and forward. And anything that we do to our backend and dashboard is going to be with the intention that everybody is going to be using the 2.0 version. There will be kind of a buffer period. This is not immediate, just flip the switch and everybody's on 2.0. If you have automatic updates on, it will flip the switch automatically. We have no control over that. However, you can turn automatic updates off. If you do not want to launch this on April 21st, make sure that you and your sales team have automatic updates turned off. Otherwise, they're going to get the 2.0 version. And with that, I think that mine is, no, we still have a bunch of slides. So submit your feedback. We set up a special email, feedback@leaptodigital.com. We get feedback all throughout the day, which is great. We create tickets. Our dev team has been working nonstop to knock these things out, to hit this 21st deadline. We had it down to, I think, 4 tickets yesterday coming this morning, and there's a bunch more tickets in there. So we're combing through them. Any last minute nits, definitely get them to us, because while we have it in test flight, it's so much easier to push out updates, and we can do it, and we're not going to disturb everybody who's using it. After the 21st, it's going to be a lot harder to get these updates out. So feedback is very important. Again, April 21st, it goes live. The 2.0 version, eventually it's going to expire. Hypothetically, you could keep using the test flight version, because eventually the version that we put in test flight, we're just going to move over to the App Store, but you should just switch over to the new app. Your Apple device will notify that an update is there. If you have automatic updates turned on, it's going to just do it automatically. And we're actually doing what did he call it? A phased rollout, I think it is, where we basically, I think it's 1% of our user base will get it the first day, 5% the second day, blah, blah, blah. And over the course of 7 days, eventually everybody will get it. So if your users' devices didn't update exactly on the 21st, it's because of this. We're doing a slow rollout, but it's all random. Apple just decides who's going to get the automatic update. If you want it absolutely on everybody's device on the 21st, then you can just manually go to the App Store and click update, and then manually update your application. Here's some more feedback we got. What if I'm not ready to upgrade? I kind of went over this already, but any customers need more time can continue to use the current version by turning off auto updates or upgrades in the App Store. I believe you do this through settings and just turn off auto updates. I don't know if you can do it per app, but just to be safe, just turn it off on all apps, and then you won't have to worry about it. Well, I have to set up my account. These are all actual questions we've gotten from that feedback email address. Will I have to set up my account all over again? No, your existing system will carry over into the improved Leap 2.0 platform. All your estimates, contracts, products will carry over. Except now you will have more features and customization options at your fingertips. Will my backend dashboard change? No, the dashboard is not changing. We do have a minor update coming to that with a couple bug fixes. I think we have a new input type specifically for Windows, a United Inch input type. So that is coming to the dashboard along with some other minor updates, but you probably won't even notice them. However, we are in the process of redesigning the entire dashboard, and we're building it from scratch. I've seen some of the initial mocks of what they're coming up with, and I can't wait. We're going to do a whole nother set of webinars and rollout just like we're doing on this 2.0. So stay tuned on that. That should be coming soon. What version of the iPad do I need for Leap 2.0? We have received this a couple times. Any iPad that is iOS 13 or later, or iPhone that is iOS 13 or later. We are currently on iOS 14. That is what Apple has pushed out. And iOS, I believe 15, it will be announced later this year. So we are discontinuing support for iOS 12. If you have an iPad or iPhone that you're using Leap on with iOS 12, it is not going to work with the 2.0 version. You will not be able to download it. 1.9 will be the latest version you can use for that. iOS 13 or later, you will either have to get a new device or upgrade your device to iOS 13. And with that, Liz, do we have Q&A? How's the chat looking?
We have got plenty of questions rolling in. If you would like, I think a lot of these questions would be best answered if we keep doing the live demo on your
live demo
iPad screen, I think.
Right. Sounds good.
Alrighty. And I'll go ahead.
I'm going to log in first. Bear with me.
So some of these questions I'll go ahead and answer. We will be sharing the recording from today's presentation on our website, and we'll email it out to everybody this afternoon as well. If you have any questions you'd like Steve to address, please go ahead and submit them in the Q&A. It's helpful if you go ahead and send them in the Q&A and not the chat box, but we are happy to go over as much information today as we can.
All right, come on, Zoom. Let's see it. I'm trying to share my. Oh, hold on. I got to plug my iPad in. That would help. Hold on. All right, let's go ahead. Shoot.
All righty. Are these updates and everything we will be seeing true for people using ProCell Leap?
Yes, but not on the 21st. ProCell will be updated with the same things that I just showed you. I believe we're shooting for the 31st of April. So you'll get like a week and a half behind, but we're shooting for the 31st for ProCell.
Kimberly would like to know, can you add tasks to your calendar?
No, you have to do that from the CRM.
Okay. All right, Jason is asking, what does replace do exactly?
Replace. Oh, that just, it's the same thing as clear. It just clears this customer and replaces it with the one that you selected. And it will save it. So here's another thing. We have updated, I didn't even go over this part, so that brings up a good one, Jason. Before, when you would save, if you were offline and you hit save, it would give you an error to tell you that you had to be online. Well, we have updated it in a way that if I hit save, I can name this, hit save, and everything. If you're offline, it will still save it. The same is true if when you replace your customers, like if you clear them out or you replace it with a new one, it's going to auto save your customer in the background, whether you're on the internet or not. Next time you connect to the internet, all those devices will, all those estimates and edits will push up. So it's very important that you understand now that, like, hypothetically, I go in and I clear my estimate or I replace it with another one. The thing is auto saving in the background as you're doing stuff. So there is really no revert. You can't make changes and then just quit the app and then come back. Everything is going to change as you're doing it, and it all works offline.
Alrighty. Next question. Is there any way to hide the upcharge if we don't have anything for that item or category?
Currently, no, but that is a good thing. Send it to our feedback thing. There'll be a ticket created for it. It won't go in the initial launch, but that is a good idea to have. If you have no upcharges, something just shows up there, nothing, we'll have to figure it out.
All right. This one's a little bit long, so bear with me. During previous demos, we were able to preview the price of each measure sheet item in the price guide option screen, which also displayed the MSI price. We plan to use the price guide option screen to demo the cost of MSIs to customers and at times deselect MSIs previously selected. During testing in the beta, I was unable to view the price of the MSI in the price guide option screen. Is this something that will be resolved with this update?
That's a very long one. If Liz, if we can, or whoever submitted that, if you can send that to our feedback so that I can dissect that and reply back to you in your email directly. So I don't know exactly what she's talking about. If it's either in the price guide or might be this packages section. Hold on, let's see.
All right.
If it's
Yeah.
this
No,
section, yeah. So just put that in an email. I got to dissect that one and I'll get back to you.
Noelle, we will be getting back to you. Okay. Where do you set price formula for custom product?
So the price formulas, they're just a placeholder for all the values in here, which I believe is CP. And that will do the math down here at the bottom. But I believe these line items here are just going to be whatever the sales rep types in as the price. So whatever the sales rep types in here, that's what's going to show up. If you wanted to modify that price whatsoever, or however you want to do it, CP in your formulas will total up all of these and allow you to use them in there.
All right, I'm going to actually group these next two questions together kind of as one. Someone using the Leap beta couldn't figure out how to delete an estimate. And then another of our audience members wants to know, is there a way to delete old estimates entirely?
That's a good one. I don't know if we included that in here. Let's see. No, there's not a way. So I will make myself a note and we will have to add that. Might not come in the 2.0 version, but definitely in a future version.
These are great. Keep them coming.
Jeff,
guys.
if you're on here, can you make a note for that? I don't have my stuff set up to put it in. Add a way to delete an estimate on a customer.
We got you covered, Steve.
Yeah.
All righty. Ready for the next question?
Yep.
All right. When using the search button, can I search for previous appointments?
Yes. You just tap in here and, well, I mean, it'll be a previous estimate. So this side comes from the CRM or the calendar in the iPad. This side is going to come from what you have saved in Leap, which you have recently worked on. So if you search, that is basically searching everything that would normally show up in recent estimates.
All right. Next question, can we limit who is able to add to the catalog?
No. And catalog is user specific. So the catalog is not shared across users. It is the items catalog is designed just for each user to save one-off line items. And they are not shared across users or companies or offices or anything. They're specific to that user.
Brian would like to know, when we add a section, it does not show on my contract. How do we link if not in price guide?
Yep, we've gotten that request a couple times, and the line items will link under the custom product, but we currently do not have a way to link this section name. We will, that will have to come in a future update. Jeff, if you can make another note on that one to add the ability to link a section, just an individual section to a contract.
Alrighty, got a few more questions. Keep them coming, guys. We got about another 15 minutes. So Kimberly would like to know, for contracts, if you send it from your cell and the customer signs off, will that save and the designer or salesperson can sign at a different time?
So the designer, if you do it through DocuSign, you can put multiple emails in there. So like hypothetically, if you wanted to send a contract on behalf of a sales rep, you could pull in his estimate from your phone or your iPad, doesn't matter. And then you could do the DocuSign, and where the sales rep is supposed to sign, you just put in their email, their name and their email address. And then where the customer is supposed to sign, you put in their name and their email address, and you just hit send. And then the sales rep will get an email that they can sign via DocuSign. Once they're done, the customer will get an email, and then it just works like normal. Otherwise, you have to sign it live on the device. There's no way to really save it and then somebody else pull it up and do it. You'd either have to do it the DocuSign or just sign it with a live signature.
Awesome. I think we mentioned this one, but it is important. Will there be any changes on the web interface, such as price guide, contracts, etc., or will all of that remain as is?
The web interface is going to change completely. I mean, completely. Like Leap is a new shell kind of, but it's the same self and all the functionality and all is the same. The dashboard is going through an overhaul that is amazing. And we're literally building it from scratch. So it is coming hopefully sometime this year, the end of this year.
Okay. Attila would like to know, can we turn off auto updates for our entire account? I'm excited about Leap 2.0, but I don't want to implement until I can train my staff. I believe that's a per device situation.
Yeah, you have to do it per device. There's no way for us to do it. We cannot control auto updates. It's all done through Apple and the App Store. So there are services out there, they call them MDMs, I think it's mobile device management, where you can control all the devices remotely. But if you're not using one of those, you're going to have each rep deactivate auto updates.
Can you send out remote credit apps?
Yes, you can do that from both devices. So I'll just show you real quick. Come here, the credit application, and you have to have, so you do a credit app, a custom credit app that you make, and our dashboard. And in the dashboard, if you're unfamiliar how to do it, message into our support chat, and then they will show you. But there is a way that you make the fields that you want the customer to fill out sendable. So what that basically means is, like, for instance, sale amount, down payment, and this improvement type, you might not want the customer filling out, but a bunch of the other stuff you do want the customer to fill out. So I could, down here at the bottom, when I make these fields fillable, I click send via email. I put in the customer's email address, and then I'll put in a little message if I wanted to, and then the customer will receive an email to with a link that they can fill in the credit application. And then you'll get a notification both on the device and an email to let you know that the customer filled it out. And then what will happen is, when you come back to one of these applications, all of these, when you click on it, all of these things will just be filled in where they'll look like password fields, where everything will just be masked out. You won't be able to see what the customer filled in, but you can still submit the application. If you have more questions on that, I definitely encourage you to reach out to our support team or your account rep, and then give you a full demo, start to finish, on how that works.
Wonderful. So Megan would like to know, does the 2.0 make you log in every time, or does it use Touch ID now for quick login?
Touch ID is a thing. You can do that in the current version. And I believe you can just enable that. I know when you first log in, it asks you, but let's see, there might be a setting in Leap. Let's see, Leap beta. Leap. I'm not sure. You might have to Google that, but it does support Touch ID. It asks you the first time you log in if you want to enable Touch ID. So I think worst case scenario, delete the app and reinstall it, and it should then prompt you for the Touch ID again. But it does support that, or Face ID.
All right. Will Leap 2.0 be compatible with Face ID?
Yes.
So, okay. What functions in Leap 2.0 will be available offline?
It's easier to say the functions that will be not be available offline. So you can, the credit apps are not available offline. Capturing credit cards or checks is not available offline. For now, the custom product catalog, items catalog is not available offline. We do have plans to make that available offline in the future, in a future update, but for now it will not be available offline. I think that's it.
Okay. If I am logged into my Apple ID and using the iPad and iPhone app, I get logged out when switching devices. Is there anything in the works to address this?
Unfortunately not. So if you log into one device, it's going to log you out of the other one. You can only have one login per license.
All right. How can I bring older estimates over to the new version?
Just search. So if you come here to estimates, the top, I'm sorry, customers, search, and then just search for your estimate. And I guess you can do a naked search and that will just pull up a bunch of them.
All right. We've got kind of an auto-population question here. If a name or address is spelled incorrectly on the contract, is it possible to edit those errors without retyping all the contract information?
No, but we are working on a way to fix this. It's one of our #1 feature requests is the ability to save data that you fill out the contracts. So we have a solution for it. We just have to implement it. It's coming in a future update.
All right. Christopher would like to know, if you make a custom package, does it save to all users or just that user?
Just that estimate. Like not even that user, just that estimate.
All right. We have kind of a demo request here. Steve, somebody would like you to go over the new template section and how to set up a template as opposed to a category.
Oh, great, perfect. So let's go in here to settings. So in settings, you'll see a new item called items catalog. And if I go to items catalog, that will show me my categories and my templates. So categories is really just a way that you can, all the items, it looks like what I have 6 things in here. And it's just a way that you can like drill down to your items, right? So only show me what's in miscellaneous, only show me what's in garage floor coating, etc. And if I click all categories, it shows me what's in obviously all of them. So let's say that I wanted a couple things from roofing and a couple things from miscellaneous. I wanted to put in a template so that when I create an estimate, I can say, hey, give me everything from this template. I don't have to navigate between all the different categories to find them. So I'll come here to templates. Let's go here to create. And we're going to call this demo template. Okay, hit save. And then if I click into this, then it gives me my categories, right? So it's basically saying me, let's select the items that we want to add to it. So let's go here to, or actually I just want to do them in individual categories. That's why I make sure I get them separate. So here is the 2 items that are in my roofing. So I'm going to say, hey, I want these 2 added to that template. And I want miscellaneous. I want this added. And let's just do basement waterproofing. So now I have items added from 3 different categories. So now if I come back to an estimate, and let's say that I'm going to add a new section. This is going to be demo section. I'm going to hit next. And now I'm going to go to a template. And here's my demo template that we just created. And you see, here's all the items that I added across the categories. So I can say a quantity of 1, quantity of 2, quantity of 3, quantity of 4. Hit save. And then all those items would just add down there at the bottom. So it's just a way that I can group a bunch of items, not this one, this one. Just the way I think I can group a bunch of items together so that I can add them all at once. I hope that's good enough. If you need more, we can definitely reach out to us and we'll do a one-on-one.
All righty. Somebody would like to know, what is ProSell?
ProSell is Owens Corning. They white labeled a version of Leap. It's a watered down version of everything that I showed you. If you'd like more information, I guess put your email or whatever. I don't know if your email shows up in this thing. We can reach out to you with more information. But it's Owens Corning version. It's all geared around selling Owens Corning products.
All right. Next question. Will this version allow deactivating all line items if you deactivate the category?
I think they're talking about this. So yes, that will deactivate all of them. Notice that goes to 0. If they're talking about the row, you can do that. Just deactivate it, and it takes it. I mean, you don't lose your measurements, but it just collapses it and zeroes it out down at the bottom. So I think the answer to that is yes.
All right. So we are coming up on, we got a few minutes left. If anyone needs to, hop off at the hour, we understand. But Steve, we do have plenty more questions. Would you like us to just keep on
let's
going?
shoot. I like them. I love the feedback and questions.
All right. Brad would like to know, the new autosave feature went offline. Will that apply to the default Leap credit app also?
Well, you need, so credit apps require you to be online. So just right out of the gate, these are all fetched, like it requires an internet connection for you to even fetch the credit applications. So I guess the answer to that is no, the offline mode is not going to work with the default credit app.
Okay. Next question, on the recent estimates screen, is there a way to toggle between your estimates and company estimates for managers?
No, there is not. It's a good feature request. So Jeff, if you're still in here, it won't be in the 2.0 version though.
All right. Does the new version have the ability to save all of the documentation for the customer so we can access a history of all the results, such as templates, instead of seeing only the most recent version?
No, but the new dashboard, you should be able to do that. The new dashboard, you'll be able to see all the customers' documents. This version, you're only, the iPad, you can only see the most recent edit on a document.
Colin would like to know, in Leap 2.0, can you do an estimate from an iPhone?
Yes, you do everything that you can on an iPad on an iPhone now.
Everything. Isn't it amazing, folks? All right, next question. Is there a way to disable just the Leap auto update versus all?
I don't know. And if you figure that out, let us know. I could do some Googling. But that's really it. How do you disable auto updates on one app? I don't know if that's a thing.
Okay. All right. This one's a little complicated. Bear with me. After building an estimate where your price is shown at the bottom of the screen, can we turn off the little dots that indicate there are more options, i.e. other places? We sometimes use this in a customer-facing fashion and don't want to show my entire hand that there are other prices.
That's a great point. So we didn't even think of that. We thought that this was helping the show because like not everybody knew that you could tap that. So that's why those dots were put there. But that is a great idea to put in a setting. Jeff, if you're on here, add that to the list. We'll make it a setting that you can toggle on and off.
All right. When viewing a customer, how can I view previous contracts, documents sent, completed, etc.?
Yep. So if you go here to settings, so right now it is a little bit backwards and we are working on this. Excuse me. We're working on this to make it much more intuitive. But again, there's so much change that happened with this thing. We've been working nonstop. It's only going to get better from here. So for now, the way that you do it is you come into settings and you have here where it says completed uploads. If you go into completed uploads, it will list all of your customers and you can search by John, and then it will show things that match. You tap on the row and it will give you your items. So let's see if I find one that's a contract. Everything's results. Let's try a different one. Let's just do a naked search. Contract right here. So you tap that and it will load your contract and show you. So that is it's been in Leap for a while. You just go into your settings and completed uploads and it will show it. We will eventually make it more intuitive where I don't know exactly what it'll look like, but I imagine maybe you pull in a recent estimate and then all the documents show up in a new section or something. I don't know. We'll let our UI UX team figure that out.
Okay. Brian would like to know, when we add a section, the amount associated does not show in retail price on contract. If CP is in price formula, shouldn't it add to retail price?
It should. If we can put that, Jeff, if we can have a thing to check on that. Just put a note to check that CP carries over to contracts.
Okay. Caleb asks, does Leap sync with QuickBooks?
Not directly, but we have an integration with Zapier, Z-A-P-I-E-R, and Zapier allows you to push, pull and push data from one app to another very easily with a no-code solution where you can integrate two apps. So we can push all the data to Zapier, and then you can map that data into QuickBooks. We have companies who use it to push, like they use our secure payment capture. And for an example, they run a credit card transaction in Leap and then have that credit card transaction automatically push into QuickBooks via Zapier.
Okay, this one's a little long, but Jay would like to know, when a custom item is added to the estimate, does the agreement identify it in a special way? To ask another way, am I capable of making a custom item that is identical to an existing price guide item, where the only difference is the price? I am concerned with reps making fake items that ignore the price formulas.
No, they're completely separate. Custom product item does not touch your regular price guide. They're completely siloed. And if you want to link those items to a contract, you have to specifically state that you want to link them to the contract.
Okay. Jessica would like to know, is there a way to transfer a customer from one rep to another?
No. You'd have to give them permission to view other reps' estimates.
All right. So Glenn is asking for some clarification. Custom product is for that device or the estimate only?
Custom product is for the user. So if you're referring to saving them. So if you're adding them to an estimate, then that's saved to the estimate, just like normal. The quantities and all that stuff are saved to the estimate. But if you're saving them to the items catalog, like in here, this items catalog, then these are saved to the user's account. So anytime that user logs in on any device, when they come into their items catalog, it's going to show them their items catalog. If that user logs out and another user logs in to on the same device, it's going to show that user's items catalog. So the items catalog follows the user, does not follow the company or device or anything like that. It follows the user.
All right, Mike, I do want to apologize. We did start at 10 a.m. Eastern time today, but the good news is the recording of today's presentation will be available this afternoon, so you can go back and check out everything. All right, next question. Can you only include manually added sections to the template? There's a categories area, but it doesn't pull up any of the price guide categories.
So I might misunderstand exactly what he's saying, but so categories you add on the dashboard will show up here, right? All these individual things. If you add a section, it basically adds them like a category, which is right there. I don't think I'm answering that question exactly. I don't understand it, but if you submit an email into our feedback at leap2digital.com, then we'll definitely reply back to them. I usually try and triage all those emails myself.
Okay. How will the JSON returned to Salesforce change?
That's a good question. I think they're talking about the webhooks. And so custom products will come over the same, but there might be something different in the categories that are added to the estimate. So if you shoot an email to feedback at Leap2Digital, and then I can that's a super advanced question. And then I can get back to you, maybe even schedule some time with you to go over that.
Okay. So Jay wrote back with some clarification. He says, I know they are siloed. I'm saying when looking at the PDF of the agreement, can I make a custom item that looks just like a regular item? Going back to his question of, I'm concerned with reps making fake items that ignore the price formulas.
I don't think so. Like, yeah, I guess it all depends on how your contract's set up. So I'd have to see it. What I would recommend is just message into our support, ask them the question, and if they can't answer it, then it gets escalated up, and then we'll eventually get you an answer. So I don't know. I can't really answer that on this webinar. I don't know.
Okay. So I think we are coming up on, I think we've answered most of the questions. I know we got a couple here in the chat box. Let me pull these up for us.
There's a ton. I don't think we're gonna have time to do them all, Liz.
Well, it's your show. We can.
I'll go to 11:10.
Alrighty.
We got 4 minutes.
When training with a new hire, can you still create a mock customer in the calendar?
Mock customer. I don't know how you did that before. So yeah, you would have to tell me how you did it before. I would guess yes, because we really didn't change much. Like the calendar's still here. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know the answer to that one.
We got kind of a permissions question next. Are all users able to add custom line items and prices in the app? Can this be restricted by user?
All users can add custom line items, just like they used to before. So it's just an enhanced functionality. This is not like they're allowed to add sections now and custom product line items. Before it just dumped everything into one section. So the answer is yes, they can add as many as they want, and there's no permission set on it.
Okay. Are templates created on the back end or by the rep on the iPad? And if one rep creates a template, is it visible for all reps?
Great question. The templates are created only on the iPad. They are not visible on the dashboard. That doesn't mean that won't change later on in the future. This is, again, brand new functionality that we're rolling out. So this is like the 1.0 version of the custom product, I guess you would say. So they are specific to the user. The templates, the categories, and the items catalog all carry over to the user or follow the user. They are not transferable to another rep. That's not to say in the future it will not be. If we keep getting feature requests for it, then there's no reason for us not to add it. But for now, it does not. It's per user.
Okay, so our last question, I'm going to go ahead and take permission back from you, is about test flight. So I'm going to share the website one more time for anyone who wants to. Can everybody see the screen with the URL? Okay.
Yep, I see it.
Yes, awesome. So test flight can be downloaded from go.leap2digital.com/test flight. That has to be entered on the iPad or iPhone itself, not from like a PC or desktop. But thank you everyone for all these great questions. Like Steve mentioned, please send any feedback that you would like, either to feedback@leap2digital.com or marketing@leap2digital.com that you see on your screen now, and we will take all of your feature requests, recommendations, and put them together into the next wonderful changes that we're going to make to the app, and we will answer any questions you send our way. Steve, was there anything else before we wrap up?
Nope, just keep the feedback coming. I love getting the emails. Such a nice energy going with this 2.0. We're super excited to launch it. Get us all the feedback you can, and hope for a successful launch on the 21st.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Have a great rest of your day.
See you.